Okay, now right. So I've done a bit with this one. So I have got both of these. I've got both of these on like this and fairly well attached. And I've hemmed this bit. I've hemmed up this bit. There's a little line you can't see, but I don't like this so much, to be honest. And I'm probably gonna put a bit of ribbon on top of that so it kind of hides it a bit. I have hemmed this so it's a bit more pulled down. And I have also sewn this. You can kind of see here. I've got like a line here and a line here and a line here. I just kind of folded it over and ran it through the sewing machine really quickly so I could kind of make it more of a curve without me having to cut it. And I found that when I did that, it actually, because when I pinned it, it was still like fairly bulbous and I was like, oh, I don't know about that. But then when I actually pinned it, it flattened it right down, which is really, really good because it was a little lumpy to begin with. My plan for this, I'm debating on adding some stitching, just like a stitch there, a stitch here, a stitch here, you know, a stitch here to kind of help it lie a bit more flat and open like that, because I kind of prefer it. I think it helps break up some of the space as well. So I think I'm gonna do that because I don't mind these being loose, but this I feel like it will look better if it's a bit more situated wider. So that's pretty much everything that I did. I do need to go back and just kind of sew the bottom on a little bit more because I've mostly just sewn it so it's in place, but I need to go again and just make sure that bottom is trapped in there. I might also add a little bit of ribbon. It's not really itchy, it's not really touching my neck so much, but I might add a little bit of ribbon just to help seal that end in as well, and so it isn't itchy at all. Right, so I want to add ears to this. I want to add two kind of lace ears that run down the back from the collar. I think that would look so cute. To be honest, I do wish I had more of this material. I actually took a little clip earlier on before I sewed this on to show you a little bit what I was talking about, so I'll cut to that now and then cut back to me again. So yeah, as I was saying, like about the ear stuff, like I think this would look really cool. Obviously I'd need to figure out like the ending and all the rest of it and get it so it would look nice, but I think this would be really cool. The biggest issue is the fact that I do have another pair of the socks with the bunny ears that have like this kind of, or a similar lace to this, but it's not enough. Like one kind of length of this, like half of it, is what's wrapped around the sock. So having two ears would mean I'd need two more pairs of socks because I don't really want to use the pink one that I have. Even though it is white lace on it, I still would rather keep those pink socks just intact. So I'll have to have a think about what else I could do. Maybe I could find some more ribbon that's kind of similar to this, like kind of lacy doily look. But yeah, it's just gonna be figuring out what else I can do because I would like this. This would be really cool and I could do something with the middle, but I just don't have the fabric for it. So I'd either have to wait for it, and I'm not sure if I can even find this kind of thing on AliExpress. So I might decide to wait for it, but I don't know. So if it looked like that and I had enough material for that, would be so good. I have had a look on AliExpress and all the rest of it. Tried to find this kind of ribbony, doily kind of looking material, but unfortunately I couldn't find it, and I couldn't really find anything that was very much emulating this. It would look really cool. I could go on and buy like a couple more and get the fabric, but like I just don't think it's worth the money to then just have to deconstruct it. If it was something where I could go into a shop that was fairly local, buy it and come back, I'd probably do it at that point, but I think it's just right now it's like, is it really worth it? No. So I'm thinking the plan is going to be, so I've got a few options. I do want it to kind of be lined with the sweet fabric again because I still have plenty of that left. Now I mostly just have scraps of this material, otherwise I'd look at using this material as well. Maybe I can figure out something, but it's just, most of it's like this kind of size and it's scraps and scraps. I do have this, which is felting material that I dyed myself, that none of it really matches, not really, but I could try and like felt something. I also have some leftover fabrics as well, but it's just, they're not quite the right colors. I think it's white, red, white, red, maybe a bit of yellow, and pink. I think are really the colours. I think I've got plenty of this colour, to be honest. I do have some lace here that are literally just like some guards that I bought for this material specifically for something else that I don't know if I'll do. But I do have this kind of lace, which, I mean, it could work, but like it's not this quite like this fabric. It's annoying. But I am also thinking, this is obviously fur, but I was thinking I could get fur to like this kind of length and like use that as well to create it, because there is this kind of felty furriness here. I do still have this white kind of thing here, which I think could work at the back. So this is a possibility. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna need to really sit down and figure it out. I'm thinking what I could do is I could do like this red ribbon, because I'm gonna use it for something else as well. Maybe like this red ribbon with this laid on top of it for the outside, or kind of just on the inside of that, and then on the inside of that some of the felt, and then like a ribbon on the inside of that, like pink ribbon or something. Like there's a few different ways I could do, so we'll need to figure that out as well. But one thing that I was gonna do was, this red is fairly close to this red here, so my plan is I'm gonna take this material and then sew it onto this end bit here, because something about having this like sweet, even though fair enough it's like the wrapper, but having it like this doesn't really, for some reason, I don't know. I think maybe it's because there's just this big blotch of red that doesn't really get utilised anywhere else. And fair enough, there's a bit of green that also doesn't get utilised anywhere else, but it works because it's like a strawberry. So I'm thinking, there is wire in this, so my plan is to hopefully be able to take out the wire, or cut out the wire, whatever I want to do, and then sew it onto here so it's kind of this smooth, it's not like there's no texture in it at all, but like just a smoother texture on the outside bits that might help it look a little bit more cohesive. And then I'll need to figure out colours for bows and all the rest of it. My plan is to still have this boy up here as well, and I might figure out having a bit more pink throughout this top bit, but we'll figure it out. I think that's the majority. So I think the first thing I'll do is I'll attach the red first, and then I can kind of figure out what I want to do for the ears next, because I think that's going to be the next big decision. So once I have that, I will show what I'm thinking, and she can go from there. Ignore the sound in the background, but I forgot to say I do have this, but I don't want to use it for this, and it doesn't quite fit as well, so you know. Okay, so not a ton of stuff I've done with this one, but it took a while. So I managed to cut out the bits of ribbon for this. I did end up using some embroidery thread to kind of help attach it and also fill in some of the spaces. I think here's a bit of space, and up here definitely was a bit of space I needed to fill in. But I think it definitely looks good. If I had the time or the actual machinery to do it, I probably would have liked to just continued on this kind of embroidery pattern and just done it here, but again, didn't really have it. But I think the red makes it look so much better. I think it does kind of help define the sweet as well, because when it was just kind of peach, it was still there, but I think the kind of two red poofs actually work. And I also quite like the fact that it's kind of got these pink bits kind of shadowing it almost, or more like highlights, I suppose. But yeah, anyway, I did that and it took a bit of time, but I've also done some other stuff. One of the things I've done quickly, which you might be able to hear my hair going against, is I put some paper on the back. And it's basically just to see like how long the ears would be, because I'm planning on putting like ears on it. And the first ear was kind of short. I wanted it a bit longer. So this one, I've added basically 10 centimeters onto it both, or 2 times even. So I think just one 10 centimeter probably will do it. I don't think I need 2, but it was just something to test out and see what I wanted to do with it, because I have a fair amount of material other than maybe the felt. So I had a couple of ideas of how I wanted the ears to kind of look. So this one is actually using the felt, and I think it works fairly well. I'm trying to get the shine off. Anyway, I think it works fairly well. Like, if it was coming down from here, I think it would still work. I do kind of like the inclusion of the red. I think that'll help tie in with this as well. But I'm just not sure if I particularly like it. I don't know, like I do like it, but at the same time I don't know if it'll work. And then I did this one, which was just the lace in the white, or just the lace in the red and a bit pink, which I think still works, but I'm not sure. To be honest, again, if it was a perfect one and had more of this material, I'd use more of that material. But I'm just not entirely sure. I kind of like the idea of having like that material around the outside of it, but I'm tempted to try and get a bit of white fur and to make that into something as well. I'm also thinking as well I could possibly do like a ruffle thing along the middle of here, the same with kind of what I did with the other thing, like a ruffle effect and then a bow in the front. I was also thinking as well, if I did the fur and just did fur down it, then what I could do is make two like bigger bows that could sit maybe halfway down or at the top of it, or like somewhere around it that utilizes the pink, blue, and this lacy fabric, and then it's kind of like attached to it, but it's not actually it. That's a possibility. I think I've decided on the length though, so it's not going to be as long as this long one, it'll be slightly shorter than that, but I basically decided on how long I want it to be. So now I think the plan is possibly to start creating kind of longer versions of these in a way. So I think the first thing I need to do is have a quick tidy up again, because I'm just trying to tidy everything up and get everything organized. Oof, so much stuff like just banging around the place. But I think the aim will be to try and shave down some of the long pile, because I only have long pile fur, to... I didn't notice that magpie... Sorry, the magpie sitting literally like in the tree. Anyway. So I'm thinking possibly of taking... So yeah, once I shave that down, maybe just shave that down for as long as it needs to be for that. I'm not sure. Genuinely don't know. Yeah, I can't quite remember what I was saying, but yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I think right now it's a lot of the cosmetic stuff because I've kind of finished off the main stuff, so... Again, just with the ears. I kind of like though how this is kind of like ended up waving in because of having to sew the end of the fabric to it, but yeah, I don't know. Again, just a lot of trying to figure out what I want and then also getting it done as well. Oh, anyway. See you in a bit. See? There's just a magpie sitting in the tree. Oh, it's there. Oh, there we go. Didn't see him for a long time. And they usually like spook if I'm in the window or whatever, so that's interesting. Okie dokie, just for a quick update, I think my plan is going to be, I am going to take, basically, I've cut out 4 long versions of this, and my plan is, I've already shaved down 2 sides, I need to shave down more, because I was debating on putting like, something like this on the other side of it, so it's kind of like this on one side, this on one side, and then this on the other. But I just decided maybe I could try doing what I did previously with like faux fur and like colouring it, was I used pastels and hairspray. And so I found that, I don't know if it, you can quite tell, like it looks a lot closer to me in person, but I also have the blue light filter on right now, so I'm not sure if that completely comes across. But my plan is I'm going to pretty much use these 2 pastels, mostly this one, to create the same colour as this on one side, which will be the inside side, and then the outside will be this white. I don't know if I'm going to put any pink in the middle or anything. I just don't know yet. That's something I can do later on. And yeah, once I've coloured in one side, sew them together, and then I'm going to figure out doing kind of a bow situation, something maybe similar to this, like just doing a big bow, like so I could have it either at the end or at the top to kind of put some red into the back and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Now I need to continue on with it. Alright, okay, it's been a little bit since I've done a little update and I'm doing some stuff right now, so I thought I'd show you. Before I do it, I've finished off the ears and have them pinned on. I need to actually properly sew them, but I'll just show those on the final review because it's literally just some faux fur that's been shaved down. I think I've shown ? But yeah, essentially they're kind of this color. This one I did a test where I washed it and it does kind of fade a little bit, so that's something I'll need to watch out for. But yeah, basically this length, and one side is this color, other side is that color, so you know, you'll see it. But now I'm gonna do bows. So I want to do a bow on each of them because I think that would look really cute and kind of help tie it in and, you know, just help kind of, I suppose, separate the fur and the thingy a little bit, the lace at the top, because originally I kind of wanted to continue down the lace and that would look so cool, but you know, couldn't do that. So the plan is I'm going to make this type of bow, and I'm going to do it where in the middle I'm going to do a kind of 3 or 4 kind of bits kind of going round of this ribbon, to kind of make a little circle that I'm going to put a star onto to help it kind of give like more of a sweet look, particularly because there's stars on the thing. I'm thinking I might take, because I already have some foam stars, but the gold color on them, it's not quite the yellow that I want, and I have like a neon yellow glitter, so my plan is I'm going to possibly use that one and then resin over the top of it, or even put sticky tape onto that star and then just like cover it in glitter and then resin on top of that, so it kind of gives it that look, or stays in and all the rest of it. So I think that's going to be the plan. So the plan for the actual ribbon bit is I've sewn 2 of the red together, and for the bigger bits I've left a bit of wire on each of these ends so I can kind of puff them up, because this one doesn't really puff up that much. And the plan is we're going to have the lace on each side like this, so it kind of shows up like that on either side, and then either pink in the middle or possibly using this green. There is green on the actual thing with the top of the strawberry, and it's more this color green, but the issue is the fact that once you unroll this, it's not this color. Like even this one, like once you unroll it, it's not that color. Once you unroll this, it's not this color. So it's one of those things where I kind of need to balance what it's gonna be and all the rest of it. So I think I'll get this all sewn up and then look at what color I want, because I kind of want to color either a strip that's just like a thin strip or a ruffled kind of thing going on. We'll see how big of a space is left, because it might, because the thing is I don't really want to cover up stuff, and I think that's going to cover up. So I'd maybe half it and then maybe ruffle it, but that might be a bit complicated. So I don't know, I'll get it kind of this all done because it's going to take a bit of time, and then I suppose the next clip will be the final reveal at that point. Or it might be what I have done with this, and then after that it's going to be the final reveal. Pull this over. Hello, welcome back. Been a bit. I have not filmed in a while, mostly because I've been just trying to get this done. Oh, because it is taking so long, and I want to film a bunch of stuff today, get it up onto my computer, delete it off of my thing because phone even needs more space on that. And then I've also got a few ideas that I really want to do, but I need to tidy up this room. This is hiding a lot of chaos. I need to basically spend probably Monday just fully tidying it up, but I've finally finished a lot of stuff up to where I wanted it to be. So I think I know where I last filmed. I was talking about the bows, I think, and I have finished them there on the ears right now. They're just safety pinned in because I'm not sure if I really want them on there. I might go for a smaller bow style, change it up a little bit, like, or have different bows that I can wear on different days. I don't know, but I will show you them in a second. Oh, this came undone. Okay, so once I got that set, the bows done and everything, I tied the ears on. I also pinned in place the collar. When I turn around, you'll be able to kind of see it kind of tampons down the ears a little bit because I sewed it to that, but I just wanted to be able to show the sweet lace because I found that the lace with the sweets on it would just fold under like that and then you wouldn't be able to see it, which is really annoying, so that's why I did that. I have also done the little kind of in and out bows. It's literally just the ends of the bows even sewn into the cuts in the fabric that I made. And then I had this little bit that was just going to be a very small bit of lace, so I just decided to sew in 2 longer ones and then tie them in a bow, which I think looks quite nice. I kind of like having the kind of asymmetry of it. I would have probably put it here or something, but whatever. It's mostly because I didn't really measure this. I just went 3 inches looks good, let's do 3 inches of bow and then 3 inches of bow and whatever. And for the sleeves, I did kind of the same thing, but I did 2 inches instead, and also kind of ended up where there was this little bit of bow, which I just made sure was on the opposite side to where this is, so it kind of sits kind of sort of on top, sort of more towards the side. I suppose more is on top than anything else, but yeah, I think it makes it look a little nicer. I could have used red. It would have stood out a lot more if I used red, so might change out, who knows, but I think this is done for now. I'll show you the back and I'll talk over it because the way this is done, it doesn't really, the way I edit now cuts out all the silence, so if I just turn around and be silent, it'll be really annoying when I actually hit the video. So, okay, here we go. Alright, so I'm just continuing to talk so then you can see what the back looks like. Pretty much is this. I really like how it turned out. It was really good. Yeah, I do like how you can kind of see a little bit of the peach on the outside of each side. You can't really see it that much, but I still think it looks great. The bows are alright, they're a little bit bulky. Maybe I could switch them up or just take them off and it might look a little bit better, but That's why I did at the time, so you know, I'm still happy with it. Okay. Right, so obviously you can see I have the bows on the back. They're fairly chunky. I didn't really consider that they'd be that chunky, but I quite like them. I might swap them out for something slightly smaller later on. They are just safety pinned on right now. I like the placement that they're in. You know, they're not too far down the ear or anything. They might be slightly uneven. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't quite checked the back yet. But yeah, I really like them. The way I did it was I originally was going to do the foldy over, because the way that the other bow that I showed kind of folds in and out and kind of gives this kind of like wavy look. But I found that that just wasn't going to work with these. It wasn't going to look right. I also made a mistake of not making sure that the thread that would be showing through would be red. It was white originally, so I basically had to take a pen and just pretty much colour that in red. I've also been having a little trouble with the sewing machine because it's kind of doing this thing where it's bringing up a lot of the under thread and it's not quite looking as clean as it should be when it's sewing that kind of fabric, because I've sewn that fabric before completely fine. Maybe it's just because, I don't know, the tension discs or something are off. I'm not sure. I'll need to give that a quick look up before I do anything else. So for the stars, I actually ended up replacing them with a different star because I originally did the glitter. It didn't quite look right, and I was like, I could layer it and the rest of it, and I'd already resined it, so I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to stick that back onto the actual like sticker pack, so I have this other colour stars, and I used this kind of like puff up powder stuff that was this quite light yellow that did end up darkening slightly, but it worked perfectly fine. I just used some double-sided tape, wrapped it around the star, and like cut it into 3 small strips, and then kind of like cut and wrapped it round the legs of the star, I suppose, and then kind of put on the powder on top and then resined it, and that seemed to work perfectly fine. And then I basically took, I think, 4 bits of pink ribbon. I'm pretty much almost out of that ribbon. I do have another reel because I used a lot of it in a different project as well. Actually, the hamster bag project, which I also did a video on, which you'll see in the iCard as it pops up and all the rest of it. And basically cut those. I just cut them and glued them together pretty much. I didn't bother sewing them at all because I was sticking the star on top of it and it was going in the middle of the bow, which ended up being quite chunky. I was thinking of possibly putting them towards the ends of the ears, but I don't know, the weight and everything, I'm not sure how that would have looked, so it's what it is. I quite like how the bows looked, but I'm just not entirely sure if I'd wear them out. I might try and find a different thinner kind of bow to wear on the ears. To be fair, if I do end up finding a fabric that is really close to this kind of laciness, I might end up literally just replacing the ears with my original idea, with the sweet lace and then this. But I might run out of sweet lace. I don't have a ton left. I think I've got like, actually 277. For some reason I remember that number. 277 centimeters left of it. So I've still got a fair amount, but for the other things that I'm planning on doing, might end up being something that I actually end up running out of this summer. So we'll see. But I love how this turned out. It's summer, it's really hot right now. I'm wearing the thick knit skirt because it works so well with this. Like, it genuinely works so well. I'm tempted of also getting some sort of tights that kind of are this. See if I can't find something that's like an very light orangey pinky, because I think that would work really well. But it doesn't really matter that much. I could wear whatever tights. But yes, that is this done. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I really like the sleeve, to be honest. Not necessarily this bit. I feel like this there's something about this that I'd change. But I really like the end of the sleeve, the kind of lacy puff bit, and the little bow as well kind of helps that make it look a little bit nicer. But yeah, that is this project done. I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry I didn't really film a lot of the end stuff. It was just getting so much little stuff to do and just trying to chip away at it. Oh, one thing I forgot to do was the little bow up here. That's one thing I forgot to do. I'll quickly add that on. It's literally just the tiny little bow that was on it in the beginning. I'm just going to sew into there. I can't be actually connecting it too much. Maybe I'll add a little strip of ribbon in there just to help kind of give it a little bit of connection, but I don't think I really need to add any sort of ribbon through this or anything like that. This is something that I'm probably going to add a couple things to, but I was originally going to do the corset lacing here, but I don't think that's really needed, particularly with the back being so like much on it, particularly with the bows. It's just, yeah, I don't know, I'll figure it out. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. There's gonna probably be a bit more of these kinds of videos right before I kind of get into more project videos, because I'll be going into uni. I also maybe want to do some projects over the summer that I might also show in a video, but we'll see. I have a couple of ideas that I'm really excited for. I have the itch to do them, but also at the same time it's just timing and getting everything organized is really, oof, that's gonna take a bit of time. So I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want. All that jazz. Bye.